going to throw a curveball at you.
Go.
You heard what Tannenbaum said, right?
I haven't.
The ex-Jets general manager.
Oh, that they should trade Wilson
to
the Vikings. Yep.
And then sign Tannehill.
Yep.
So let's think about this. If
he's
you do that,
he's just joining the Tan fan club. If you
let's think about it. If you do that, you put Fields as your starter. You have Tannehill, who knows that offense inside and out, who could be that guy coming off the field.
Yeah.
And can step in if something was to happen to Fields.
Yeah.
And I'm perfectly fine with Kyle Allen. I thought the best the offense looked in either game was when Kyle Allen played most of the second quarter and the second half against the Texans. Because he's a veteran. He didn't panic. He saw the field. And he made some good plays. So, as much as I can't stand Tannenbaum, and I can't stand that dude.
I hate him.
But I got to admit, it does make sense depending on what you can get out of.
Well, I was about to say, what would you trade him for?
Yeah, what you could get for Wilson. Hey, you need a quarterback real bad. We'll take that Justin Jefferson guy off of you, and we'll give you Wilson.
Take the right tackle. Take the right tackle, Brandon O'Brien O'Neill, whatever his name is, and then you can use James Daniels for another trade bait and just play for time at right guard where he's going to end up anyway.
See, I don't know their roster well enough to say, but again,
I'd trade it for if the line looked any better, I'd be saying trade him for. I mean, the Steelers the cap would be a problem. Trade it for TJ Hawkinson and put Pat Freeman in the offense on one part and Hawkinson on the other side. It'd be terrific. I can go through the Vikings roster pretty deep, but they're not contending anytime soon. So you've got some opportunities.
Well, they've lost McCarthy for the whole season now. They really need a quarterback.
You know what I'd do? I'd say this is what I would do rather than just.
It is outside the box thinking, which everybody knows I like.
This is what I would do. If I was Omar Khan, I'd go, he's out. There's other quarterbacks. You're going to get belted anyway this season. So, you know what? We'll trade you Wilson. Next year's 2. The following year's 3 or 4. We'll test him with the 4 first. And we'll take JJ. We'll look up to JJ for a year. We'll let JJ cook, right? And you let JJ cook in the background. You see what you've got in Fields. If that doesn't work, you're going to go through the rehab. JJ will be throwing by Christmas anyway. So you'll know what he looks like, whether he's the goods or not. And then if he's not looking the goods, you can still go get a quarterback in it. You've only traded your 2, so you've got a round 1 there, and you've got a guy that you can develop there. You paid nothing for Wilson. You flip Wilson for a guy that could actually be a very good starting quarterback in the NFL that fits your offense because he's used to running the freaking ball from Michigan. So
did you see JJ his one preseason game?
I didn't.
He actually made some plays that I wasn't convinced he could make.
That's what I heard through the draft process. Daniel Jeremiah shifted on him. He said, Daniel Jeremiah said, look, there was a lot out on JJ compared to the other quarterbacks. He said, but the thing that he's learned with quarterbacks and pass rushers, particularly over the last sort of 5 seasons coming into the NFL, is that if you actually look at people look at everyone's lowlights all the time. And Daniel Jeremiah talked about a lot this offseason. He's like, go look at their highlights because he goes, just as much as we look at the lowlights, if you look at someone's highlights, you go, this is what they're capable of, but are they capable of doing more than that? And he's like, when I go back and look at JJ, he makes smart throws, he makes on-time throws, he can put the ball wherever he needs to put it, he can put it on, he can throw the ball, he can go deep with it a lot more than people realize. He wasn't asked to do that a lot in Michigan's offense. But the bonus about bringing him into this team would be that he has a relationship with Roman Wilson.
Yeah, there's just
anyway, you're not getting very armchair GM with that one.
Well, I mean, right now the way it worked out, they brought Wilson in to be the stability, and they brought Fields in to be the potential. Well, with the worst thing could have happened, and that Wilson missed all of the training camp at Latrobe. And now he is so rusty and so unfamiliar, and he's not really familiar with the offense at all, his teammates. You wanted that stability to start game one. Well, now you have more familiarity and possibly stability with Fields. So, how much are you actually going to be getting having Wilson, even though he's super cheap, but having standing on the sidelines for what could be the majority of the season?
Yeah.
I mean, it does bring up a different dynamic, and you have to really consider what is the best avenue moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, what about the? I'm gonna ask you super quick on it, and we'll move to the other segments you want to do. But what about my one where you trade a just humor me on this one. So you get Fields. We can still sign. We can fit Mike Tannenbaum's process, and we're going to sign Tannehill, and then we're going to ship Russell Wilson, Justin Fields as well, at 2 next year, and 2 the following year, or probably at 1 the following year for Justin Herbert. Straight up, move him out. Here we go.
You are you get a certain player in mind, like was it Renfro and wide receiver, and you hang on to it, man. And
I love Herbert. I've always been a Herbert fan. I've been a Herbert fan since the moment he was drafted.
I know you mentioned Herbert a lot. I mean,
I think he's the goods. I think he's Ben. I think he's never. No one's going to do what Ben did in terms of the toughness in the pocket and stiff arming a defensive end. But I just think if you want to go, to me, I think Josh Allen can run the football, but Herbert to me has this crispness in his passing game, but he's a gunslinger. Like, I can't wait to watch. Hopefully he's fit for the game. I can't wait to watch him in week 3. Now, hopefully he does terribly against the Steelers defense, and that's what I'm hopeful for. But I just think I watch his passing mechanics, and I watch the quick release, and I watch the spiral that he puts on the ball, and the way that I don't know, when I watch a quarterback, I just think he's a great quarterback. I just do.
He has got one of the best throwing arms that you'll ever see.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're probably not old enough to remember Jim Everett.
No, I've heard the name,
but Jim Everett was a guy that just they had the height and the arm, the velocity. Jay Cutler.
Yeah.
Jeff George. There's big guys that can throw it through the car wash and it wouldn't get wet.
That's it. That's it.
And that's how Herbert is.
Yeah.
But I want to see him in pressure moments. In that Jacksonville game where they fell apart, there was a throw or two. If he'd have made it, they would have won. And so he hasn't been put in those situations. And hopefully with the new coaching staff and everything, he will be. A guy is unproven till proven. And to be a franchise quarterback, you have to be clutch.
Yeah.
But as far as just talent, straight up talent, that dude's a freak.
I mean, up until well, I would never have said, trade Steelers because we have Ben, but up until his second last year, and I still think he's a great quarterback. I used to watch a lot more of him when he was at the Lions, but I always thought Matt Stafford was one of the best quarterbacks in the league, just on one of the worst team in the league, right?
Oh, it's definitely true, definitely.
And I know most people would say that,
but how many comeback victories he had?
Yeah,
I mean, for about every Lions victory, and there wasn't a lot of them, it was because he led comebacks.
Well, the 2010 season, it was 2010 or 2011, where they went 10-6. Right before that season started, I said to my dad said, "Oh, I'm going to put a bet on for a team to make the playoffs that didn't last year. Who should I pick?" And I said, Detroit Lions. They'll have double-digit wins. And there was a guy that I forgot which team he supported, but the same team in the Lions conference. There was a guy we were at a bar. And the guy looked at me and he laughed. He laughed at me. And my dad's like, "Why is he laughing at you?" And I said, "Because if you look at their record," and I remember running through the record on my smartphone. And my dad looked at me and goes, "This is the dumbest bet I'm going to make." And I'm like, "Dad, you like a gamble." I walk over to the machine, press the buttons and tell me what it spits out. And he went, that's pretty good odds. Well, it was the season that they did get 10-6, right? And so then I looked smart. And it's because I liked what I saw from Stafford. I'm AP with Shannon White. As always, go Steelers.